A woman noticed her neighbor's laundry hanging on the line and said, "Her laundry isn't very clean. She must not know how to wash properly." Her husband looked on but said nothing. The next morning, the woman glanced out the window and saw perfectly clean laundry on her neighbor's line. Surprised, she remarked, "She finally learned how to wash. I wonder who taught her." Her husband replied, "Actually, I cleaned our windows." A male student asked his English professor, "What is the definition of a dilemma?" The professor said, "Well, there's nothing better than an example to illustrate that. Imagine that you are lying in a big bed with a beautiful, aroused, naked young woman on one side and an excited gay man on the other. Who are you going to turn your back on?" A couple visits an art gallery and comes across a painting of a nude woman with only her privates covered by leaves. The wife frowns, not impressed, and moves on, but the husband stands there staring intently. Annoyed, the wife turns back and asks, "What exactly are you waiting for?" With a grin, the husband replies, "Autumn." A man is sitting on the couch with his wife, tossing peanuts into the air and catching them in his mouth. Just as he tosses another one, the front door opens. He turns his head, and the peanut drops straight into his ear and gets stuck. His daughter walks in with her date. The man explains, and the young guy says, "I can get it out." He tells the father to sit down, sticks 2 fingers in his nose, and says, "Blow hard." The dad blows, and the peanut shoots out of his ear. After the daughter takes her date to the kitchen, the wife says, "Wow, he's clever. I wonder what he wants to be." The husband replies, "From the smell of his fingers, I'd say our son-in-law." Ms. Brooks was testing the class with some tricky riddles. She smiled and said, "I come in many sizes. When I'm not well, I drip. When you blow me, you feel good. What am I?" The class fell silent, students glancing at each other, unsure. The principal, observing from the back, shifted nervously in his chair. Little Johnny, without hesitation, raised his hand and confidently answered, "Nose!" A man in a hot air balloon realized he was lost. He reduced altitude and spotted a woman below. He descended a bit more and shouted, "Excuse me, can you help me? I promised a friend I would meet him an hour ago, but I don't know where I am." The woman below replied, "You are in a hot air balloon hovering approximately 30 feet above the ground. You are between 40 and 41 degrees north latitude and between 59 and 60 degrees west longitude." "You must be a programmer," said the balloonist. "I am," replied the woman. "How did you know?" "Well," answered the balloonist, "everything you told me is technically correct, but I have no idea what to make of your information, and the fact is I am still lost. Frankly, you've not been much help so far." The woman below responded, "You must be a manager." "I am," replied the balloonist. "But how did you know?" "Well," said the woman, "you don't know where you are or where you are going. You have risen to where you are due to a large quantity of hot air. You made a promise which you have no idea how to keep, and you expect me to solve your problem. The fact is, you are in exactly the same position you were in before we met, but now, somehow, it's my fault." It started with a sweet text from their daughter. "Can you watch the kids for a few hours, just until dinner?" Edna, ever the optimist, replied with a thumbs-up emoji and 4 heart stickers. Frank squinted at the phone. "Are you sure she meant today? Last time I agreed to babysit, I woke up with glitter in my belly button." "She said they're easy now. They're older." Edna smiled. Frank grunted. "So are we." By 10:12 a.m., the living room looked like a toy factory exploded during a disco. There were Legos in the fish tank, applesauce on the ceiling, and someone had used a marker to draw a 6-pack on Frank's bald belly while he dozed off. "I told you," Frank groaned, sliding off the armchair like a slow landslide. "They don't come over. They invade." "I just stepped on a dinosaur and a Barbie shoe," Edna whispered through gritted teeth. "I think I need a tetanus shot." The youngest grandkid streaked by, giggling, wearing only a lampshade and one sock. Meanwhile, outside the window, their daughter pulled out of the driveway like she was escaping a hostage situation. "She's not coming back till sundown," Edna sighed. Frank picked up a juice box and drank it in one gulp. "Then we're not cleaning until sunrise." A lawyer, a priest, and an engineer are playing golf when they get stuck behind the slowest group they've ever seen. Balls in the rough, in bunkers, missing every putt. Frustrated, they go to the clubhouse and ask the manager, "What's with that group? They're holding up the course." The manager says, "They're retired firefighters. They lost their eyesight running into a burning orphanage to save the children. They love golf, so we let them play for free." The priest looks guilty. "I feel awful. I'll start a collection at my next sermon for their families." The lawyer nods. "I'll see if my firm can get them compensation." The engineer says, "Why can't they play at night?" A teacher told her class, "If anyone can answer my question on Friday afternoon, you won't have to come to school on Monday." That Friday, she asked, "Okay, kids, how many grains of sand are on a beach?" Of course, no one could answer. She smiled and said, "See you all Monday." The next Friday, little Johnny came prepared. He brought 2 tennis balls that he had painted black. When it came time for the weekly question, Johnny suddenly rolled the 2 black balls across the floor toward the teacher. Startled, she exclaimed, "All right, who's the comedian with the 2 black balls?" Little Johnny grinned and said, "Bill Cosby. See you Tuesday, teacher." My cousin called asking to borrow $300 for rent. I said I'd think about it. Before I could call back, my aunt phoned, told me my cousin was lying. She didn't need rent money. She wanted to bail her boyfriend out of jail so they could be together for his birthday. I thought about it and decided to help anyway. After all, we all need help sometimes. I called her, told her to come get the $300. A few hours later, I got a call from the county jail. It was my cousin, crying and yelling, "Why did you give me counterfeit money?" I told her, "I just wanted to make sure you and your boyfriend could spend his birthday together, under the same roof." A woman was walking on the beach when she came across a genie lamp. She picked up the lamp, rubbed it, and lo and behold, a genie appeared. Surprised, the woman soon came to her senses and asked if she had 3 wishes. The genie replied, "No. Due to inflation, constant downsizing, and fierce global competition, I can only grant you 1 wish. So what will you wish for?" The woman did not hesitate. She took out a map and said, "I wish for peace in the Middle East. You see this map? I want these countries to stop fighting each other." The genie looked at the map and exclaimed, "My goodness, ma'am, these people have been fighting for thousands of years. I am good, but not that good. This is not possible. Make another wish." The woman thought for a moment and said, "Well, I've never found the right man, you know. Someone who's thoughtful and funny, who likes to cook and help clean the house, who's good in bed and gets along with my family, who doesn't watch sports all the time and who's faithful. That's what I want a good wife." The genie let out a long sigh, shook his head and said, "Let me see that card again."